Hey guys, Skoithedemonwolf here. Today I'm going to be talking about the time I had the police call on me. Oh boy. So, this actually happened last year in 7th grade. I was sitting at a table with my quote-unquote friends, and I asked this one girl who had a bag of popcorn, and it was full of cheddar smart food, white cheddar popcorn. And I asked her a couple of times, and yeah, I probably shouldn't have asked after she said no the first 2 times, but I continued asking over and over again, and she said no every single time. Now, right before we were called up for lunch, she said, "Hey Skylar, do you want some popcorn?" She knew I wanted popcorn, and I said yes by nodding my head. And she held a piece out for me to grab. When I went to go grab it, she started moving it towards her mouth. She ended up popping it in her mouth and finding it funny that she teased me. And because I was going after the piece of popcorn, I accidentally hit her in the nose with my hand. And if I had camera footage of it, it would have looked like, and just the way that, okay, how fast it was going on the camera, and they had to slow it down just to look at my freaking face to see whether I did it on purpose or not. Even though this was a complete accident. And I'm pretty sure if I didn't mean to say sorry at all, because I said sorry to this girl over and over again, that I wouldn't have cried in the damn office when they showed me the footage. But the footage made me look like I did it on purpose, which is the sucky part. And it pissed me off. Okay, so when we got called up to lunch, I went up, I got my food, and nobody spoke for the rest of lunch after that happened. They all saw what happened, but nobody spoke. Nobody said a single word. I stayed quiet the entire time, even if somebody did speak up and say something, just to break the awkward silence, or the silence of they know somebody's gonna get in freaking trouble, but I just stayed quiet the entire time, because I didn't need people questioning me at this point. So after lunch, we had, maybe 6th period, I believe, because I don't remember periods and they changed everything. Anywho, I had 6th or 7th period, and I went to that period, and a period later, I'm in 7th or in close to 8th, and it's almost the end of the school day, and my teacher gets a call, and my teacher hangs up, and she comes up, she says, "Skylar, they want you in the counseling office." I automatically become pissed off because I had apologized to her, and I mean, it's not like I didn't expect to get in trouble, because I did expect to be in trouble for it, but it wasn't something I did on purpose to begin with. And actually, no, they didn't call me down to the counselor's office. They called me down to the damn office. I went down to the office, and when I got there, they asked me, "Are you Skylar Brown?" I said yes, and they told me to go into Mrs. Blah Blah Blah's office. We'll call her, call her Miss Megan. Miss Megan. No, it's not a real name. Anywho, so I went into Mrs. Megan's office, and she said, "Can you sit on the other side away from Jennifer?" Also, not a real name. And so I sat far away from Jennifer. And Miss Megan says, "Do you know why I'm having you sit far from Jennifer?" I kind of nodded my head, confused a little, but I kind of understood it. And she said, "Because you physically assaulted her." I what now? I what? I didn't say anything. I was just quiet. And Miss Megan was showing all the proof she could and like had against me even. But keep in mind, this camera, there's only 2 cameras in the lunchroom, and even so, one's on one wall, which is actually closer to the table we were at, and one was on the other side of the lunchroom, which was the one that they had to use just to see what the hell happened. And I mean, I didn't do this on purpose, but she had... Okay, so Jennifer had a freaking bruise on her nose. And it was a very bad bruise. And I didn't think I hit her that hard. Obviously, I didn't hit her nose hard enough to where it broke. Otherwise, I probably would have been getting in far more worse trouble. Because that would get me suspended. Or even worse, expelled. Which I do not need. And so what ended up happening was... Oh, God. Well, I got a choice, but the thing is, I ended up crying because I apologized to this girl, and every single time I tried to explain that it was an accident and I didn't do it on purpose, Mrs. Megan would always go back to the video and say, but it didn't look like you did it on accident. It looks like you did it on purpose. But that's also because I had like a scowl or a growl kind of face on, and like, okay, you know how some people can get game faces on when they want to grab something? That's what I had on my face, and that's what she took for as me being aggressive and doing it on purpose. Now, if I were going to do it on purpose, I don't think my hand would have been opened, and I think my hand would have been in a fist, and I think I would have been in trouble already, and it wouldn't have taken several periods for me to finally get called down to the office. So, if I truly did it on purpose, then yeah, I probably, you know what, no, just stop. Anyways... And I continuously tried to tell this lady I didn't do it on purpose. Every time I tried, she would always go back and say that I did. Otherwise, this girl would not have her bruise or be in pain in her nose. I was annoyed. I was pissed. I was freaking annoyed at this point. I stayed quiet. I stopped trying to prove anything because she wouldn't listen to me. As I don't think they really went with any other witnesses, but they probably did, and they probably all said that I did it on purpose, even if they were my friends, keep in mind. And this kind of started some big drama between my friend group and I and them, because they all sided with Jennifer, and it pissed me off, because they were all there when she teased me, so they knew what I was saying wasn't a lie. I tried to explain. I asked for popcorn, and every time she said no, and I eventually stopped asking. And then when I tried to speak more, she interrupted me and said, "You asked her multiple times for a piece of popcorn?" And I said, "Yes." And she said, "You should have only asked once, and that should have been it." You know, she's right. I probably should have only asked once, and that should have been it. You're right. That should have been it. But it wasn't. Now, was it? Because I'm an annoying person at times, and I like to push things. What? And then I tried to continue on and say that she asked me if I wanted a piece of popcorn, even after she had said no to me multiple times. And when I said yes, she held out a piece for me to grab. And when I went to grab it, she popped it in her mouth, and I accidentally hit her. And when I was explaining this, I slowly started breaking down and started sobbing into tears because I didn't want to get in trouble for something that I didn't mean to do. But the teacher didn't buy it. The freaking teacher did not buy it one bit. And it pissed me off to my limit. I shouldn't have had to deal with that at all. Like, no. But I did. I got in trouble, and that was it, you would expect. Miss Megan decided to at least be somewhat fair and give me a choice between two options. A whole entire week of lunch detention or an entire week of school suspension. I probably should have done the school suspension, but so then I wouldn't have to see her every day, because I see her in the halls. I saw her in the halls all the time. And let's just say we're on good terms right now, but I see her all the time, and I absolutely hate it when I kind of force myself to be nice to her, actually, instead of being an asshole to her. Now, you were probably wondering, so, Skylar, Skylar, Sky, etc., you said that this is the first time that you got the police called on you, but you haven't said anything about police officers at all. Well, we're getting to that. After I chose an entire week of lunch detention, that same day when I went home, I was done with my homework, I was on my phone, and I started hearing knocks on my front door. And if you don't know, my front door porch, we don't use it because my cat lives in the front porch area that's enclosed in the door, and the stairs are unsafe, so we don't go up there at all. And then I heard the side door bell ring, and that's the door we usually use. I look outside, and I see a police officer's car. Okay, I'm sorry, but please comment down below. What would be your reaction if you saw a police officer's car outside your house? And you saw a damn police officer. Because that's exactly what happened. I saw a police officer's car outside my freaking house. And I saw a police officer on the side porch. I hesitantly went and opened the door. And she asked me, because the police officer was a girl. And she said, "Are you Skylar Brown?" And I said, "Yes." She asked me if my parents were home, and I said my dad was home. And she said, "Can you get your father for me?" I was so scared that I yelled out for my dad, actually. I said, "Dad, can you come here? Somebody needs to talk to you." And when my dad got there, my parents knew about what happened, and they were quote-unquote punishing me for it, even though they were actually proud of me for standing up for myself, which took a lot from me, I guess. And they pretty much shooed me away and didn't want me to listen to the conversation, even though it was about me, even though I eavesdropped. And I heard my dad fighting the police officer a little bit, saying that I wouldn't be speaking to anyone because this matter was taken care of on school grounds and nothing else can be done about it. But the police officer didn't care either way, and I needed my parents' consent to speak to the officer, and my father eventually gave up and forced me to pretty much explain the entire situation to the police officer. This officer had a camera on her, and not only am I afraid of police officers, and I've been afraid of them since I was younger, but if you add a damn camera into the mix, then how do you think my anxiety worked with that? Huh? No, it doesn't. And so, in the end, I ended up telling the officer the story twice. I'm assuming it was not Jennifer who called, since she said her parents called the police on me. Now, my question was, how did they find where I lived? Was like what I was wondering at first, because I was scared. Because how did Jennifer know where I live? Because she's never been to my house, and I've never told her my address. Well, I'm assuming they tracked me from school records, from the school record book, I guess. I don't know. They tracked me down by either using the school or by using my parents. So either way, they found me without a freaking doubt. And I did not get in any, I have no criminal record because of this. No, I don't. But let me just say one thing. I no longer sit at this lunch table this year. And anytime I see this girl, she's all so giddy around me and nice to me, 'cause she has a flipping crush on me. I'm not doing this year. She can either learn the fact that I don't like her and move on and just appreciate the fact that I'm not going to hurt her, or she can face consequences and have me be pissed and yell at her, which I'm probably going to be at the edge of doing, because I don't want to be bisexual anymore at this point. I am straight. I want to date boys only. I don't want to date her, especially her. I don't want to date her because she's a bitch. I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you want more story times, then feel free to comment down below things that I might have a story for. And have you ever had the police called on you? Maybe you might. Why don't you tell your story down below in the comments? I will be reading all the comments, and I might reply to some of them. So, anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed. Peace out, min angels, min demons.